certain things that I used to do. I can't play kickball. I can't go outside and do sports. It's hard. I can't look in the mirror and see myself as I did 3 months ago. I don't even want to put on clothes when I go play. So I'm like, oh, forget the clothes. I'll just put this on. That's not me. And every day I try to be stronger and stronger and say things are good, but it's hard because, like I told y'all, I've been on my own for so long. I hold tears back because who wants, I mean, who cares?
We care.
We care. Mom cares. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of others.
And now that I cut my beard off, I really just see it. It's hard to look at yourself like that.
That it is, bro.
First things first, let's remember those who are there for you, who are truly there for you. People who say like they care, but you'll know deep down who really care about you.
Facts.
I'm proud of you.
If you don't know now.
I'm definitely proud of you for taking those steps and going to see specialists and figuring out what's going on so you can get back to you and be healthier. What happened to you, it may sound like it's unfair, but it's not over.
Definitely not.
We're gonna walk with God. We're gonna put it in God's hands for sure. It's not over.
It's B, boo. B&B. You good. We care about you.
I know y'all check on me and everything. It's just, you know, like my mindset is just so hard. Like I'm having to think extra every day about this stuff. It's not easy.
Ooh, this is a rough day, boy. I need to go up and drink.
To hear Phil say he doesn't even feel like himself anymore, like, that broke me.
Bro.
That made me feel so bad for him. Like, I can see it. What he's telling me, I can feel it, I can see it. Like, my baby don't feel like himself, and it's like, what can I do? What can I say to even make him feel better? There's no words, no actions that could make him feel better. So I'm here, I'm listening, I'ma hug you until you ready to let go. Just know you got me, and I'ma always be there for you.
It's the first time I was able to come out and say that. Keeping it in because it's hard to say, like it's hard to face it and say it out loud. You know, so like I just keep it in because it's easier to keep it in and just hold on to it. But like even when like I got the beard cut before I came down here, so I'm like, I'm gonna go to Atlanta and hang with, you know, my people. And to me, that's like,
You drove up here by yourself?
yeah. But I had fun with myself. I didn't have anybody saying, let's go, let's do this, let's go here, let's go
Peace
there.
and blessings.
Just peace.
And now y'all see why I take that drive all the time. Y'all always call me crazy. Y'all see why I take that drive all the time. It's peaceful. You get time with yourself, away from people. It's just you and your thoughts. Good music, the open road. You might cuss a few drivers out, but
Sometimes you can be in a room full of people and feel alone. And it just feels like sometimes that you're not heard the way that you want to be heard or understood. And that's what makes you feel alone. And it's not that I'm blaming anybody or making it anybody's fault. It's just the simple fact that I just feel like sometimes I'm alone in the stance that I don't at the time have what I need to fulfill me.
Seeing a therapist today at the retreat actually is quite refreshing, to be completely honest. It's familiar, but it's a safe space for me to just kind of purge and just lay everything out on the table and just get some direction and guidance.
So, we're here as therapists, just to, again, build the foundation, start the journey or start the process of being the best version of yourself, right? And so just for starters, where would you like to start today? What were some things you would like to talk about?
Sitting with Dr. Washington, I feel like I've known the man for years. Basically, I just kind of wanted to get some guidance. I feel like I haven't fully healed from losing my dad. I feel like I still struggle with those things.
It's about going through the grieving process and amongst going through that grieving process, figuring out ways to cope with that new reality, right? Because it's a new reality. It's a reality without that loved one, without mom, without dad, without brother, without sister, whoever. And so it's coping with that new reality and reshaping it. What does my new reality look like? How do I, go through this life, through this human experience without this person that was there
from my conception? Like, what am I doing?
You know what I'm saying?
What am I doing? And I have oftentimes in my adult life found myself asking the question, what the hell am I doing? What am I doing? Throughout your life, you're always going to be healing. You're always going to be, it's always going to be something. It's always going to be a trial or a tribulation that you're going to have to overcome. But I feel like that plays into the experience we call life. And I feel like with certain things you don't heal from. You just kind of learn to accept, and that's it, So I think for me, like you said, maybe I have progressed a lot further than I give myself credit for. Maybe I have been doing the work. I definitely have, but maybe I've done more than what I'm giving myself credit for.
Do you feel like music is your purpose, your passion?
I do. Been in too many situations where I've wanted to quit. Been in too many situations where I did quit. And I found myself right back on that stage. I found myself right back in that studio. I found myself right back within a group of other artists working collectively on something. So it's definitely one of those things where I'm just like, at this point, I think my prayer is, you gave me the gifts. What am I supposed to do with them?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do with them? People are just like, oh, a male artist wouldn't sing this. Why are your songs about relationships? Like, you should be singing songs about busting down chicks at the club, and you should be making songs about this. And it's just like, it's what I like to call the bullshit. It is, when you have those things, it's very easy to find your inner voice silenced because those things are so loud. Why would I sing about something that's not my life? That's so fake.
Exactly. It's all about being true to yourself. It's all about being true to yourself. But I also think it's also about not dimming your light for anybody. Because this is your purpose. This is your passion. This is your calling. Like you said, this is what God gave you. This is your gift. You know what I'm saying? And if this is it, I don't give a fuck if they don't like it. If you're not feeling it, I'm still project it. I'm gonna still use what I have. I'm gonna still, attempt to give the world a part of me.
Yep.
And I'm not dimming that light for nobody.
a lot of times we feel stagnant and we feel like we're not making any progress. But sometimes that little progress that we make, we have to be gracious with ourselves and patient with ourselves and acknowledge that that little progress is still progress. So if I could take away anything that was said to me from my therapy session, it would be keep going, because there's more to life than just this one moment and in this one season. There's more to life and there's greater that's waiting for you. You just have to keep going to get there.
If you inspire to be a first lady, here you
That's
go.
the magazine.
The Renda Clark Cole collection.
Oh,
That is the
man.
Renda's collection.
I think this is good for now,
Clark
actually, because this gives a broad spectrum of kind of what life I'm trying to live in the next actually like 5 years. So it's not even like
Next 5 years.
yeah, super forward, because I'm just working on building my life now, you know, so that way in the next 5 years I can be comfortable.
So let me ask this one. You've been here before, so what makes this a...
This is important because this is my favorite place to perform. So
Okay.
we anytime we go to Vegas, it's always the most loved, the hypest crowd, the best performances. Like it's just anytime, and I've gone 5 times. So this just reminds me of the fact that I couldn't perform during COVID, and now that we're back performing, I get a chance to kind of represent that. So that's important to me. Yeah, we talked about the health thing. I know this may not look the healthiest, but yeah, right. Yeah, but this I want to start eating healthier, just making sure I'm focusing on what I'm putting in my body, because it changes as you get older, and it doesn't. It's not like healthy stuff is nasty. It just takes more prep, and you gotta be proactive about yourself, not just go, you know,
For sure.
go get the nearest thing to eat, man. I'm over it.
Right.
Yeah. So these two things, I put them together because this represents one of my biggest like childhood passions is wrestling. And I every time it comes here I go. Every time I've met wrestlers, I just enjoy it. It kind of brings me back to like being a kid. Okay? And this is my partner. One of his like biggest passions is drag. Not that he does it, but he just enjoys it so much. So that's extremely important because he watches this for me and I watch this for him. Yeah, so that's why I put these next to him.
Drag race.
Yeah, I watch all that. I'd never watched it before. Like I've never enjoyed it, and it's actually good. Like, I mean, I very much so enjoy it. Like I recognize some of these people on here. I wouldn't have never recognized them before. So yeah, it's actually pretty interesting. Thank you.
Yeah.
I need one of those.
Take your rapper off.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh.
Choose whichever one you want.
What I wanted to talk to Miss Kenya about was actually my career, my film career. I felt like I knew what I wanted to do, but now that time's going by, I'm like, maybe I should revise this, maybe I should update this, but I don't know how to do it. So I definitely wanted to talk to a therapist about that.
You said this is a long-term goal or a long game. So
Yes.
what do you mean?
So I feel like in my past, what also brought me down a lot is I would see people that would make it after being in like industries or New York, Los Angeles, all those places for like 3-4 years, and they get the big break, or 5 years, whatever. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's all I gotta do. So then 5 year comes, nothing, 6 years, 7, I'm like, all right, I'm doing something wrong or something. Like I don't know. So then I just feel like I just now registered that like, okay, this is a long game. Like you can't expect, okay, you do an audition today, the next week you're gonna be on set, even though that's what it says. They're filming, like that doesn't matter. Like, you gotta like throw that out. Like just do the audition and throw it out in your head. From my session, I was able to take away that I can relax while still pursuing my dreams, because I went there and was like, I want to talk about my career, which is very like workaholic behavior. So I realized that I can actually like take it easier than I have.
That is the truth. You are part of, you're a key component of what makes everything work. And so taking care of yourself is so
Thank you. No, I definitely need to hear that, because sometimes, I don't know, I definitely don't think about myself and like to take care of myself, so definitely helps. Going into my session, I thought that I'd feel uncomfortable, and not gonna lie, I did feel a little uncomfortable because I didn't know what was gonna happen. But once I started talking, I definitely felt like my armor kind of come off a little bit, and I was able to really get in there and say what I really wanted to say.
A whole bunch of resourceful people.
Yeah.
And if you don't have them immediately, some of the people that you know has resourceful people.
Right.
So you got the help. It's just believing you can't do everything yourself. leaving people.
No, yeah, that's how. Like we met up on our own, like one-on-one at a cafe, like after everything, and we did agree, like and I think he does know that. So I don't know. Hopefully, moving forward, it works out in that way because he's very talented and creative, like we were talking about. So.
Absolutely, he has so many good.
Yeah.
He just needs to just
Cause I don't think
stop thinking that everything's like it has to be a way. I was like, because you may start it and it may not. You may start it and it may change to be something different. So you can plan for it to be as perfect as possible. But when it actually gets to it, you might change it. So it's like, just do it.
So yeah, I'm excited about this section, especially with the counsel I have for her, because I feel like, you ever met somebody who you feel has anointing over them? Her spirit, it felt anointed. I felt like I need this woman to talk to this woman. Like, I grew up in church, and I know when someone has an anointing spirit on them, and I know when they're speaking positivity and uplifting in your life. And my first connection of words I felt it from her. And I was like, okay, good. I get to do a counseling session with her. I'm excited. She gonna make me cry probably, but I'm excited.
Okay, so what brings you to therapy today?
You guys, I didn't have any expectations because I didn't know what I wanted to talk off. So my first thing going there was talking about my journey, about different things, what I'm going through now. But somehow we kind of reborted back to my childhood. I think my real trauma really started me going visit my dad in jail. My dad went to jail, I want to say, when I was 2 or 3 years old. My mom made it her mission at least once a month, no matter if he was in Florida, Texas, or what, to make sure I would go see my dad. My dad was the best dad in jail. My dad was a prison jail. He would be in prison doing homework with me on the phone. He made, one year he sent me, you can't give me a gift because you don't make money in jail, but they were doing this project with video cameras, and he made this video, and I lost it for Katrina, but he made this video. I just telling me he loved me, and my dad always told me he loved me. And I think it was because I went through that from 3 years old till I think my dad came home when I was 12.
Okay.
I remember as a child just crying because I just wanted my family. You watch Disney Channel, you see these movies. I just wanted mom and dad, and then it's really got bad because my mom always did a good job of keeping me in good schools. So I was going to primary white schools or Catholic schools in this 2 parents household. I was excited to have my dad back, because I was just happy to have my dad back. Cause like, if my dad is being this amazing dad in jail, when he comes home, I have a daddy. I get to go on the father and son trips at school. I was going to this Catholic school, and we had a father and son group there, where they would take trips every other month to Houston to go to Six Flags or Florida or whatever. They like rent a bus, and the fathers and their sons and some of the men from teachers at school, they would do that. And it's just, I was so excited to experience that and have that with him. It's just, I don't think I ever got over that it didn't work out like that for me. It was too much my dad was fighting with. So my dad couldn't believe my mom got remarried and had another child. My dad, so we had to go through that battle. Then we had to go through him blaming himself for me being gay battle. Then we had to go through him, but before that, it was him. As soon as he found out he came straight home and started a whole other family. My dad came home in August or September, the beginning of the school year, I believe. I remember this because I had a fight. I got suspended from school because I had a fight. I got suspended from school, and I was walking home, and a car pulled up on the side of me. And me, how I was taught, I was about to and run. But to hear someone yell out the window, "Little Frank," and look and see that's my dad, was one of the best moments and memories of my life. Like, to see my daddy outside of a Dickie uniform, outside of inmates and officers and all this stuff, to actually see my daddy for the first time as a free man, it was one of the best. And we didn't do nothing that day. We go to McDonald's. He got me. We went to McDonald's, and my auntie had to bring him back to the halfway house. But that man, I felt like he sold me a dream and abandoned me. he couldn't come to fixed realization that my mom and him was not there, that he started a family, not to discount his family, because I love my other brother and sister. But that man came home in August and was married, and my stepmom was pregnant by December. And he started his family.
That's what I want you to do.
I will. I can't wait to talk to you again.
Yes, yes, it was awesome. It was a very, yes.
Yeah, I think I let you know a lot about
A little. I know all about you now.
Yeah, I think you have a good exception on what kind of person I am, hopefully.
I think you're a wonderful person,
appreciate
a
that.
loving, caring person, and we're going to turn some of that love inner, okay? Inner wellness.
I wish y'all could have gotten it together for me. And I must be together. I wish you guys could have figured out the co-parenting thing, because I was screaming for help in more ways than one. And neither one of you saw it.
I really want to release. And when I say that, I really, because I've been through so much, the wreck, the stroke, a lot of just tension built up, burdens, just things that's been bothering me, that's been on my mind. I think this retreat will really help me to understand myself a little bit more. I think it doesn't matter how old you are, how old you get, you always are learning something new about yourself, and this retreat is really teaching me more about me.
I actually struggle with knowing that me and my older brother grew up in the same household, and our relationship is kind of null and void, you know, as adults. And I kind of struggle with that because I don't know why.
I've never talked to a therapist before. This is the very first time I've ever talked to a therapist. So today is kind of different for me in life over the 37 years I've been living.
Why you feel like they don't understand?
Recently, I had a tragic, accident, and ended up leaving and going back home.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like there's an empty part of me. Like there's part of me missing. Like my mother said something the other day that kind of triggered me. She kind of said, you have been, and some of her friends have said it, you have been gone for many years, but I'm a person who strives for more success. And I think that my perspective on what I figured the world would be, or how I figured life should be, is not what they figured.
Yeah. So you kind of got like outcast.
I feel like outcast.
You feel like outcast? Yeah.
I feel like I'm outcasted by default. Like, you didn't stay here, so, we still love you, but...
Communicating in all relationships, whether they're relationships with friends, families, partners, whatever. Communication is one of the biggest parts of those relationships, because that's how we express our needs, wants, and etc. That's how we express it. And so when you're ready, when you develop how you want to go about it, try having those, even if you had them before, try having those conversations. I actually think that you wouldn't be whining and complaining, you'll be standing up for yourself. And it's actually more courageous, brave, and assertive, not weak.
Me and my brother grew up together, but I just want a closer relationship with him. I think over the years we spread apart because we have had two separate lives.
He's so shut off. Like, I'll even go to like house parties of his, or little gatherings of his, and he won't even say 3 words to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is that from me being gone? Is he like the rest of the family?
Mm-hmm.
Or is that because he just, does he not know me anymore? Or is he mad at me for something I don't know that he's mad at me for?
I think the disconnect is where he thinks that my mother is the middleman. Like, she doesn't say to me what she says to him, or vice versa. And this is a person I grew up in a house with wearing the same underwear, the same underclothes, sharing the same room, sharing the same drawer, sharing the same closet, getting in trouble, getting whippings in the same area. This is the person I grew up with. There's nothing that I feel like I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him. I want him to be the same happy for me that I am for him without trying to involve my mother in that case.
He's like the biggest piece of the puzzle, I think.
He's the biggest piece. Let's solve it. Where we go from here, developing that script for your brother, I believe.
Okay.
Ultimately is your decision, but I think that's where we go.
My therapist, I enjoyed him. I like him. If I was still here, I would more than likely book him.
I mean, I feel like if this retreat or this...
I think I use this retreat for what I needed to use it for.
That's important. Even if you don't get it all, because I'm saying this one session ain't gonna do it. It's just not gonna do it. And I mean, without me having therapy, I just know.
But I think a lot of people should look into retreats and have like the sessions, because even though it may not be as deep as you want it to go, it hits the surface for you to know where to start to go deeper.
So then that was what you did today was exactly what you did.
May not be tomorrow. May not be next month. May not be next month.
But you
it's
know,
gonna be. But you know it's gonna be. Yeah.
I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Like that's. I don't. Wait a minute. Again, I can tell you in an hour once I get out of the session.
Well, when I tell you when he said retreat, this is not what I thought of.
Oh.
To be honest.
What did you think?
I thought more. We're all getting together and doing these flash games and these different things, and
that's not a retreat. In my opinion.
Yeah, it's not. But
I think this is more what I had in mind. I think this is a better way of doing it. If we're gonna get together, everybody needs to talk to somebody first, and then maybe perhaps we can get together as a group. Maybe.
I would say it's better. I think it's more healthier that he's doing something different.
Yeah.
But in my head, I really wish it was like that. I thought I was gonna come here. He was gonna have like water guns, especially the water balloon fight, like that. Like I wanted more fun.
I think that I'll be straight honest. I think that we need to do this individually.
Oh yeah, I think it's needed. Yeah.
I think that even if we can go out and have fun as a group like we did with kickball, it's still masked by all the underlying issues.
The kind of good thing though is it helps.
Next time after this,
the kind of good thing though is it kind of helps our issues in the group, because each person has a different personality. We're all different, and when you're dealing with different personalities, there's a reason behind it, because you grew up a different way. I grew up a different way. You grew up a different way. You get what I'm saying? And us not knowing how that happened or how you were raised versus how I was raised makes it all the more, okay, this is the reason why this happens, or this is the reason why you say certain things or do certain mannerisms, because that's what you've learned and you've been taught that. And it kind of opens the door to you getting to know a person a little bit better.
I've personally never been to a therapist. I've never feel like I need to tell a therapist my issues, because if they're gonna solve it or not, I don't know. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. I'm hoping to gain some type of closure out of this. So, we'll see what happens.
Unfortunately, your mother had an addiction, and that's, had she not had the addiction, we can look at it, she would have been able to be there for you guys.
My thing with that is, she was 2017, 18, and 19, she was sober. You know what I'm saying? And it has not even attempted. I had got stabbed in my head and brain damage and everything. And I went to find her and she never showed up. Like I literally went to Minnesota for 7 days.
Did you find her, or
we planned to meet. She never showed up.
And then she never showed up.
Never showed up.
Well, maybe the disappointment. The disappointment. When we don't come to places like this where it's safe to just tell your story and process, we can almost avoid our whole lives. So sometimes, how can your mother may have difficulty facing her life of who she used to be, and the disappointment of it, more not even seeking to harm you, but maybe to protect you.
I don't know. I don't get how she's trying to protect me when she don't even fuck with me.
Yeah, maybe she doesn't feel good about who she is. She can't feel good about who she is. Imagine how.
But I made my last tip on my birthday. I'm just gonna pay it. I made my last attempt on my birthday. Last year was supposed to be here. She's supposed to be here this year. It's the same shit every day.
Don't give
up.
up.
I feel like I should pay it.
You should pay it.
Just pay it.
And do what?
Just pay it forward. Just leave it alone.
No, I feel like until you don't hurt anymore and you don't have that yearning, you should keep extending yourself. You shouldn't let rejection turn you around, because then that's not a closed door.
So walking in, talking to the therapist, like she seemed like a little OG to me. Like I feel like she like from the hood or something. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't your normal therapist. Looking at him from the outside in, but I walking in like I'm strong as fuck. I know she's not gonna get a tear out of me. But child, walking in there, she broke me ASAP. I ain't gonna lie to you, she broke me ASAP.
I look forward to working with you.
I definitely do too.
Working with you. I'm gonna push you now. I'm gonna press you.
I'm down for it.
You down for the pressing?
I'm down for it. It gotta start somewhere, man. I gotta get this off my chest. I gotta start.
Get this away from your heart. Get it off your heart.
Get off my heart.
Acknowledge that you have a heart. You're a person. You know that, right? You know, you feel your heartbeat. Yeah, you feel it? Yeah, get it off your heart. Yeah, you feel it?
I do.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. God bless you.
You too. Thank you.
God bless you. Father God, in the name of Jesus.
Thank you so much.
Father God, move on him in every way he needs to be moved on, Lord God. Oh, God, you make his crooked ways straight. Lord God, be the comforter. Lord God, wherever there's darkness in him, I'm asking you to burst forth and let there be light. Lord God, let him know you would never leave him and you would never forsake him. Oh, Lord God, let John 3:16 be his foundation, Lord God.
I decided to talk to my therapist about my music career and how frustrating it is to be a woman in the industry, in a male-dominated industry. I ran into so many different celebrities. Some people stuck, some people had bad intentions, and it's just like, dang, I had high hopes for you. Yeah. But you obviously didn't. I don't want it that bad, you know, so it's just trying to get my feet wet. So basically the therapist, she just listened and allowed me to talk. I think that she was very sympathetic and she understood where I was coming from. I'm happier when I'm doing my music. Like, I can tell everything I can vent. It's my book of just everything.
It's like your therapy.
I can create what's in my brain that's always clogged up with so much stuff. I can just put it out, and then now it's in the world. And it's also helping other people too. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what I'm talking about. You know, so, and people love hearing my voice. You know, they're like, oh, Sundra, you just calm me down. I'm like, you know what?
So using your artistry to help others is important to you, right? I feel like you getting that feedback, it means something to you, right? And when you're sharing your stories, because you're saying there's a lot going on in my head, what are the things that you feel is going on in your head?
Like, am I good enough? You know, sometimes what's wrong with me? You know, like, what are you doing to get to where you need to be? What does success look like to you? Overall, my experience with Miss Kenya, it was like a fresh breath air. I felt a little lighter, less tense in my shoulders, and it just opened up my heart to receive the blessings God have in store for me.
So the next thing that I do is know that you guys inspired that. You know, for the better. I thank you. Because y'all did not have to do it. Yeah. You did not have to be here today, but you chose to. And you know, God put you right here in the
in our lives. And I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Yes. Okay. I'm just chilling. I know, looking nice. Thank you so much. Yes, I receive it open arms. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna apply it.
Yeah.
It didn't fall on deaf ears. I just want you to know that.
Thank you for that.
We all work just like that.
Because we want you to succeed.
Exactly.
Yeah, we believe in you.
That's what you did. You got the royal purple on. So I was like, yeah, you're supposed to be here. This
Divine,
directed
for
by
sure.
the divine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, we are. And I want to see your success. I want you to follow me on Instagram. I don't know if you're on Instagram, but I definitely, in the next 6 months, I want to see something out there. Those projects you were talking about. Next 6 months. Yeah. But that'll be the new year. Hey, January. Yeah. Hey.
So I'm going into this therapy session, and to be quite honest with y'all, with everything I've had going on this year, like I don't really know what my ultimate goal is, or what my ultimate outcome is. I'm going in with an open mind, and I'm kind of going in with guards down and walls down, and just open, because I'm a very big proponent for therapy, especially therapy for Black men. I'm not working on any music right now because I signed a management deal at the end of last year. And so, once you sign, then you don't have full autonomy over your career at that point. And so right now, we're in a limbo space where we're waiting for funding to come through so that we can move forward with other projects. So I don't have music as an outlet right now either. And there's so many things going on in my head that I want to be able to write about, because I feel like if I can write it, I can get it off of me. But I can't get my thoughts to settle enough on any topic because there's so much. So one of the aspects of the retreat that I didn't really have a whole lot of information on was us sitting down and talking to therapists. And so it was nice to be back in therapy, because I have not been in therapy for a while, a couple months. And so it felt good to talk to somebody and to kind of vent about where I'm at with my music and kind of being in limbo and the waiting process, and this is what we're doing and this is where we at. And yeah, that tapped into some personal feelings that I had not really delved too much into recently. I do well with compartmentalizing stuff, and so to kind of have that safe space to release it, it felt good.
A lot of what we talked about so far has a lot to do with you just self-identity, with self. Like who am I? And who am I gonna show up to for self? I know who you showing up to for your parents. I know who you showing up to for your fans. I know who you showing up, as in relationships. But these are all representatives of who you really are. You're doing business. You're in every relationship, even with yourself, like you doing business. Like, I'm doing what's the expectation? What I'm gonna get at the bottom line, and what do I need to do? And there's all of these fine prints everywhere that you haven't read. So it's making it very hard for you to fulfill the contract with self, because it's in conflict with who you really are.
So I connected with Tashawn immediately. Her energy, her spirit, like you just kind of had to be in the room. It's like somebody giving you a hug without ever touching you. And it made it easy to open up and kind of dump a little bit, I guess you could say, about what's been going on, what's been affecting me, and kind of how I've been dealing with everything. I just want my bills. I don't even have to be rich. I want my bills paid. Okay. I want to be in good health, and I want to be doing my music until there are commas behind those zeros. I just want the checks to keep coming.
So when you do your manifestation board and your vision board, make sure you focus on those 3 things. Because I'm expecting God to do it in 90 days. I'm expecting him. I have a mustard seed for you. I have a mustard seed.
I don't have it for myself.
I got it for you. 90 days. You gonna get on therapy with me? I'm gonna give you the information. I'm gonna put you on the system, and God's gonna move in 90 days. He's gonna move in 90 days. And it's only gonna take 90 days because of you. You gonna be slow, but he can do it tomorrow. He can do one thing, but we gotta get you make a choice. Just make a choice.
I just feel like my spirit is broken a little bit, you know.
I know it is. Tell him, you won't break my soul. You won't break my soul. I ain't no dancer, but Ooh, you won't break my soul. Yes. President, come straight. I want you to pray with us.
I guess I'll start. So, I do appreciate the value you guys put on this friendship, to be honest. That's something that a lot of people just don't do, because they would rather throw it away than try to at least hear the other person out. So that's one of the things I really took away from having separate conversations with both of you, is that you do value this friendship. And you guys do want to move forward with it as well. Mm-hmm. And you guys both are dealing with the same thing. Trust came up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So
we've dealt with some of the same people, so we know. We know about this thing called trust.
My thing is, if McJackass couldn't tear our friendship apart.
That wasn't even the intention.
No. I know it wasn't the intention. What I'm saying was the situation itself when it came to a head. Mm-hmm. If that didn't tear our friendship apart, this shouldn't.
So
because that held more weight for both of us than this does.
I would say the part that bothered me the most was the fact that there was this post that was made. And when I read the post, I instantly knew that it was about me.
You assumed it was about you.
That post was very specific.
So here we are for the umpteenth time, rehashing this issue for the umpteenth time in the umpteenth environment with the umpteenth person as the mediator. And again, I'm going in with an open mind because this is my boy, this is my brother, but it's just like, bro, I'm sick of talking about this same thing over and over again.
Very specific. And I text you when I saw it and I said, hey, sir, do we need to have a conversation? In which you did not reply.
Correct.
Because you stated you were getting ready for your show.
Right.
And I respected that.
And in addition to that, which I didn't tell you, I also had gotten into an argument with my person that I was dating at the time as well. So, yeah, like at that point, I kind of stopped communicating with anybody that wasn't required, meaning production for who was coming to the play that day, mm-hmm. or production for my play that day, or like if it wasn't work related, I tapped out.
And I can respect that, but and I would be fine with that if you had not gone back and forth with Brandon in that group chat.
But that was different though, DJ, because it was at this point like, dude, what is your issue? I've now extended an olive branch on more than one occasion and people keep asking me to shut up. But nobody keeps like what the leave me the fuck alone. Like literally, and again, it goes back to me, that tapping out thing. I'm not about to get into a text war with you, mm-hmm. because I hold more value there. I can read that raggedy motherfucker in a text message and be done. Just like I did at work that night when I sent the link for the tickets to begin with. It's very simple. Leave me the fuck alone. I can print it in 5 different languages. Shit, we can go to Wakanda and put it in whatever language they speak over there at this point. Leave me alone. I don't think that's a hard concept to gather. And so for me, what really pissed me off is that it wasn't that we couldn't have a conversation. I was under the impression that I was coming out to hang out with Nebraska and her kid, celebrate the play, and have a good night. You came over to congratulate me. And I feel like as adults, you can separate 2 issues. So I go to say thank you and hug you, and immediately you attack me. That wasn't the venue and the space for that. Then what further irritated me is that you and I are having a conversation, and the very thing that makes me question stuff occurs, what does he bring his ass over there to do? And sits behind you like your little boyfriend over here just bumping his gums. Did he not?
That happened.
Very comfortably. As if he was like backup for you or something.
Well, let me.
And I wasn't, again, DJ, and again, before I said anything else, before I even said that it felt like a setup or an ambush, it came out of other people's mouths. So it's not as if I'm creating this narrative or looking at this through a lens through just my own perspective. There are other people saying the exact same thing.
As I'm sitting here listening to Trey, I'm hearing a lot of deflection. It just all sounds like bullshit at this point. I mean, my nigga, you made the post. The post was about me. All you have to say is, that's it. I made the post. I apologize. And be sincere about it. And then we can get the tools that we need and we can move on. We can hug and kumbaya and all is well in the world. But if we can't get that, then baby, I don't know what to tell you. Because at this point, I'm tired.
He's filmed with everybody except for Matt at that point. So when I said, again, so that post, general.
Pull up the post.
I don't have it no more.
Don't you worry, I do.
I'm sure you have a screenshot of it. And that's fine.
Because I don't ever leave out nothing, because that's why I'm just like, with a post like that, that post was too specific for
but
it
if
to
everybody's
be general.
hanging out with him on camera,
but that's not what
and you're the
said.
only one hanging out with him more off camera, and I don't even know it, then how am I being specific? Now, if I knew y'all was hanging out off camera, oh baby, I probably would have tagged your ass in it.
Okay, well, period.
Because you know me.
Okay.
I'm always with the smoke.
Okay, and so am I.
I
And
know
so
that,
my
but what
thing
I'm
is-
saying is that's what I'm saying. If I knew that it was more than what it was on camera, then yeah, my nigga, I definitely would have tagged you.
Hold on.
And text your ass.
Well, at the end of the day, you didn't do either.
Right,
And
because it
that-
was general.
So
But you
here's the
assumed
post.
it was about you.
Here's the post, verbatim. PSA. Because you see, this is his Instagram.
So do me a
right?
favor.
So I'm not
airdrop
making
that
this
to
up.
me. Airdrop it.
PSA.
Airdrop it.
I will. One moment. PSA. You will not sit in my face, call me a friend, and then sit in the presence of a motherfucker who is openly dragging me, talking shit, making collages, dropping diss records, and anything of the like. If you are my friend, then I don't need enemies. So at that point, when you made that post, there was nothing general about that post. That post was very direct. And the thing that made me get up out my seat, and the thing that pissed me off to no end, and the thing that hurt the most was the fact that, one, I came to you directly as my friend. You ignored my text message, but you had time to go back and forth in that group chat with Brandon. 1, 2, I was in your face and I told you I knew the post was about me. The issue wasn't even the fact about the post. It was about the fact that, one, you sat there and was like, the post wasn't about you. But then here I am sitting up here reading it, and it's very blatant that post was about me. There is no way in hell you can sit up there and say that post was about anybody else.
DJ, I just told you, everybody on this cast, with the exception of Matt.
Let's go pull him in. Let's go pull him in, because I want them to tell you verbatim.
I'm not pulling anybody else in here.
Because
I don't need
you
to
know-
get anybody else involved with our friend. What I'm telling you is, if you feel like the post was about you, then I can be man enough to tell you to your face that I apologize.
If I feel like the post was about me, it was.
Okay, you feel like the post was about you, so I apologize.
No. Hold on. Let me say this. I don't want you to apologize because I'm calling you out on it. I want you to apologize because you genuinely mean it, because you're actually sorry for the post, and that changed behavior is gonna follow behind it. That's my thing. Because at this point, with this post, granted, this is a situation that should not even be that serious. My issue is the fact that you're not accountable. You're not accountable and you're not taking ownership. That's where my issue lies. Because, true story, had I even done something close to, the first thing that you would have did was pick up the phone and call me about it. If the shoe was on the other foot, you would have at least picked up that phone and said something to me about it. In this instance, this is another situation where I'm sitting here basically saying to you, Trey, you are not accountable. You made that post about me because basically you found out that me and Brandon were hanging out. That's what it is. That's the reason you made the post. And then you felt the way because, like I said,
I just told you I didn't know y'all were hanging out. I found out when you told me.
Okay, so where did that post come from? Here's my thing. If you didn't know, where did that post come from?
I just told you. I saw the trailer just like everybody else. Who was he showing the meme to in the trailer, DJ?
prior to that.
Who?
Because prior to
that post came out after the trailer came out. It did come out before.
So let's look at this. Before the collages, there was this diss record. Before the collages, he was talking shit then. And as I told you before, you needed to come and handle that. Did I not?
Come and handle what?
That situation, because clearly, had you been present, Kamori wouldn't have had to.
I was at work. I'm not missing money for the likes of him.
Well, apparently your friend's feelings were minor compared to that because you had time to respond to that. But I texted you directly.
I just told you, DJ, that I held more value than us getting into a text message war over there. We could have had a conversation.
Okay,
we
so
were going to have a conversation.
Okay, so
but I never got the chance to do that because you ambushed me with it at Dave & Buster's in front of everybody.
Because by that point, everybody had seen it. So that same energy that you came with on social media for everybody to see it, I returned that same energy. Was it petty? Yes. Was it right? No. But at the same time, neither was that post. Especially when I blatantly knew that post was about me. That's the thing. That's the part that's so frustrating because it's like, I want to move on in our friendship, but we cannot move on if you cannot take ownership and own the fact that post was about me because it was. I'm sorry. I'm like in my heart, and I've really said for the last couple of months, and I really sat and thought about it, and I was like, just maybe that post wasn't about me. Just maybe that post was not, directed at me. Maybe he was just making a general statement. But there are too many details in that post for that post not to be about me. I'm sorry, friend. I'm not buying that.
So I just asked you, who was he showing the meme to in the trailer, and you can't answer me. So
I did answer you because you said you saw it. So he was showing it to me. But here's the other part. I did not let that man sit there and just up and talk about you because when the scene come out, I want you to see that I actually did have your back because I was actually right there and I sat up there and I said to him verbatim, and even he told you in the moment. He verbatim told you.
What he told me because I tuned his ass out.
Well, at the end of the day, maybe that was something you should have listened to because even he will tell you that I specifically said in front of Rico Quesadine, are you sure this is a beef you want? Are you sure this is energy that you want? Because when it's returned, I'm telling you right now, that's on y'all. And his words were exactly, yes.
So what I'm saying to you is, the reason I asked you who he was showing the meme to in that trailer is because I can't tell. Nobody can tell. You can't tell who he's looking at. All you can see is that he's showing it to somebody. The trailer is general. I posted it after the trailer came out.
That post was not general. There was nothing general about that post.
You know what, DJ? Our friendship means more to me than me being right. It does. I'm sorry.
I don't want you to, at this point, I don't want you to apologize because my thing is this. If it's not genuine and if there's not going to be changed behavior behind it, then what are we doing? My thing is, take ownership of your shit. That's what I'm saying.
DJ, I own my shit.
You did not. You took partial ownership. Not one time did you ever say, you know what, friend, I'm sorry for hurting you. I'm sorry for disrespecting you. I'm sorry for making you even think that post was about you.
You also didn't just let me finish my statement either. You just cut me
Trey,
off.
you said a whole lot. I didn't even interrupt you in the beginning.
No, I'm talking about this last statement. I was about to say something and you just cut me off and said that it was that I only took partial ownership.
You did.
DJ, I obviously hurt you with that post. And for that, I'm sorry. I have no problem saying that to you. That's why I said our friendship means more to me than being right. I obviously hurt you. I'm sorry. I apologize. I can own that. I apologize for hurting you. Because from May to now, if that is still bothering you, it is obviously deeper than just social media.
No, it's still bothering me because, Trey, you have an issue with taking ownership. That's my thing. When I tell you things, I don't just tell you things just for my health. When I give you advice, I don't just talk for my health. I don't just give you advice just to be giving you advice. And I've told you before, when I give you advice because I don't want you to make some of the same fuck ups that I have.
You're gonna fuck up because you're your own individual. I don't want you to make some of the same fuck ups that I have that you can't come back from, which is why when it comes to your music, I'm on your ass the way that I am. That's why. And you don't listen. You don't listen, and you don't like to take accountability for stuff. When I point stuff out to you, it's always a reason. It's always, well, I did this and I can't come because of this or whatever the case may be. You talk about not feeling supported, neither do I. I can only count on I can think of 2 occasions where you showed up to a gig, and there was one in particular that I begged you to come to, and you came. The other one was for an event that you hosted. That's it. That's all that I can think of.
No, I've been to support you when you hosted a mix multiple times, actually.
We weren't. I don't even.
We absolutely were friends when you were.
I don't remember us being as close as we were now, Trey.
We were still friends, DJ. So
I didn't say we weren't. I just said the magnitude of where we are now, that wasn't the case then. That's what I'm talking about.
No, we were still damn close then because that was well after we had met because of the hosting issue that happened at Mix from the other person that was involved. We damn sure were close then.
I don't recall ever having that conversation with you, so I can't confirm
then
or deny.
How do I know about it?
Know about what? I came and probably told you.
You just said you don't remember having a conversation.
No, I said I probably came and told you, which means when you use a word such as probable, that means either I did or I didn't.
Well, no, I'm telling you, you did because that's the only reason I know about it. This was back when I was working at, this was old, like back in, when I was working at SunTrust back in 2017, 2018 when you was hosting that mix.
I don't even remember you working at SunTrust, so that clearly says a whole lot. But the point that I'm making in this moment.
When you were performing in Duluth, that's when we met.
I met you.
Right.
I met you at.
And then after that, when you were hosting at Mix, that was when I was still working at SunTrust, DJ. So yeah, I've been to support you multiple times, not just at the event that I hosted, not just at the event that you begged me to come to. Which event is that you're referring to?
The one in which where Summer Walker was performed, and on the side of the stage, Trey was like, "Ooh, throw me in the mix, throw me in the mix, throw me in the mix, bring me on to sing the second verse." Are you telling me you didn't say that? Because I got the video.
Oh, you talking about when you sang Summer Walker? I thought you were talking about she performed somewhere. I said, where the hell Summer Walker performed at?
So the point that I'm making is, you've heard this before. This is not new information because we have other mutual friends that have brought this to your attention. You don't take accountability for the stuff that you do. And because you don't take accountability for the stuff that you do, for me as an individual, that is pretty damn frustrating. Because as an adult, when you are able to take accountability of your shit, that is when you are able to properly function in situations. When you are able to take accountability of your shit, it makes it a little bit easier for things to move around. In this instance, perfect example, I would have no problem moving forward and saying, you know what, we can bury the hatchet, we can move on, whatever. But see, look at all that we had to get through just to get to a place where you were just like, you know what, we just gonna agree to disagree. I apologize. Like, I get it and I receive your apology, but my thing is at this point, I need to see change behavior because that can't happen again. I would never get on social media and dog you out. And you've done some shit. You have done some shit. You have done some shit. You've said some shit. We've had some experiences, and I never said I didn't. I never said I didn't because, and even did I not take ownership of that? Thank you. So
you subbed me on social media before.
No, I've never subbed you on social media because I don't care that much too. Because I have your phone number. If I have something I have to say, I can say it to you, or I can pull up at your house. I've never subbed you on social media.
We can agree to disagree.
Okay, well, we can agree to disagree because here's my thing. Why didn't you say anything then? Because I definitely said something to you the day that I saw this post.
We did have a conversation about it. It turned into a very large argument. You don't recall that conversation?
No, I never subbed you on social media. The only time that I got with you in that situation is when
we don't have to talk about it now. All I'm saying is, because I don't want to get into that now.